SoFloRadio.com, the South Florida Radio Network. Since the dawn of civilization, the elusive quest in pursuit of the perfect drink continues to evolve. Now more than ever, we reap the rewards of this passion. The perfect vintage, the finest brew, or a spirit of optimum age and class. And now, SoFloRadio.com invites you to discover the wonderful world of booze by the glass.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to By the Glass. I'm your host, Brett Hubbard, and I'm welcoming you to explore the wonderful world of wine, beer, spirits, and everything in between. I have my guest host, Jason, here tonight. Say hello, Jason. He's out back there. We got I've been crazy. I've been bad on the board. Mr. George Rodriguez. Everybody, a big happy birthday to George Rodriguez. Happy birthday, George.
Thank you.
Birthday show for George. I want to thank you all for tuning in. George, what are you, 25 today?
Might as well be.
Oh, come on. You know, I think we're all 25 at heart, you know, when we're around.
Don't
George.
feel a day over 18.
Absolutely. 21, especially. You got to be 21 to drink on the show. And what a wonderful show it is. I want to welcome Dougie Heckler back and from
Doug.
Beverage. He's our resident spirits guy over here. And Doug, it's always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
And you brought with you the lovely Dina Carbello from Tanteo. She's the Florida market manager for the brand.
Thank you.
It's so nice to have you in studio, and you brought just a bevy of beverages. I mean, just a plethora here. I said, this was great. I said, Ed, it's George's birthday. Let's have a party show. It's a party, and
thank you, Ed.
And these guys just came in, and they've really, they've shown up with in force with some amazing products, and they're all really quality products too. Tonight we're doing a tequila show, folks. If you don't know at home, the Tanteo brand. It's a real interesting brand. Tell us a little bit about the brand, and we'll start off with a little bit of a brand overview, so people at home can know a little bit of the history behind Tanteo.
Sure, absolutely. Tanteo is our first collection of 100% infused tequila.
Wow! So flavors.
Absolutely. It is infused. No chemicals, nothing synthetic, no artificial flavors.
You were showing me some pictures before when we were looking at them, and the maceration of the jalapeno, that looked amazing, and you could tell it's just all natural.
No, exactly. And what makes this unique is it's not, like you said, flavors.
Yeah.
There are flavors out there. This is not your typical, it's not a flavor.
Well, if anybody remembers when Dougie was on the show before, I was pinning him down because we came in and we did the flavored vodka show, and I said, okay, Doug, what is the difference between infused and how do they get their flavors? And we went through this whole thing, and he's gonna say, look, I'll be straight with you. Some of these have chemicals, some of these have actual real stuff that they're soaked in. Some of them, are percolated like a cordial, but these here, this is all 100% natural stuff.
Yep.
Yes, very unique. Very unique. All natural ingredients, like you said, done by maceration, not flavoring. And we actually hit the market January 2009.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, our biggest market is New York and San Francisco, but
Great
Florida
place to be.
is growing, which is great.
Number 3 in the country, you think, Florida?
Absolutely.
I would say so.
I mean, a lot going on. We certainly got a lot of tequila lovers down here. And the shift, what's your perception? You guys are in the business. What's your perception of tequila now? Is it just that, the lime and salt and you get it back as quick as you can anymore, or what? What's going on these days?
What I've seen is, at least being in the market and on the on-premise and the off-premise side, is there's a ton of, now they want to premium tequilas and they want to sip them.
Right.
Same thing you do with scotches and whiskeys. Now
Cognac.
they're putting them over the rocks and they're sipping them.
Right.
If you want to make a margarita, you're buying the low-end stuff. No offense to Jose Cuervo's #1 brand and globally, but if you want to make a premium margarita, you're using some premium tequilas, but for the most part, these are sipping tequilas.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
You're not gonna make a high-end margarita, except it's something special with Tanteo.
Was there a vision behind the brand and a man who brought it? Can you tell me a little bit about him?
Absolutely. Jonathan is our co-founder for the product, and he actually, this is his passion. This is his baby. He went to Mexico and started putting some, mind thought into this, and how can I make this different and unique and something that no one else has. besides your typical, blanco, añejo, and reposado.
The very typical structures.
Exactly.
Of
So
the
these are
brands.
his three.
How can we make it different? How can we make it interesting? What can we bring that's new, fresh? And you're a mixologist as well?
Yes.
So you can see how these types of recipes everything that comes out of this new brand affiliation with infusions of flavor, that really brings a whole nother level to actually being, when we have a lot of people on the show that bring spirits in. Last week we had the cinnamon whiskey, the Fireball.
Oh man,
Yeah.
That was
Very good
amazing.
stuff.
And she's saying that people, they want to make these drinks quickly, efficiently, things that people like, and that's fun, new, innovative, right there in the trenches. And I think that's really the key, correct?
Absolutely.
I mean, that infused flavor is going to bring a whole nother level to that drink that can be made right there in the bar.
Absolutely.
And-
And it is easy. It's as simple as our jalapeno infusion. It's simple, natural, just agave nectar, some fresh lime juice, and your jalapeno tequila, and you've got yourself an amazing spicy margarita.
Wow, that's amazing.
Correct
All
me,
right.
but real quick, if I remember the story correctly, didn't Jonathan make this? He was actually making this in his house.
Oh, wow. Infusing it himself?
Infusing it himself, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And then he had friends that said, "Listen, you got something here. This is something you might want." Because he was a very successful businessman.
Wow.
On Wall Street, and he basically was making the jalapeno tequila, and they said, "Listen, take this to the masses."
Okay,
and he did.
That's unbelievable. Now I'm getting crazy. I'm on pins and needles. Usually it's George over here that wants to realize some of this stuff. It's like, All right, so let's. What you made drinks out of two of the three, correct?
I did.
All right, what's the one we didn't make drinks out of?
The
jalapeno.
most
The jalap-
famous?
All right, so let's get nuts
jalapeno.
since it's George's. Let's get some ice. Let's get some. Some cups. I want to pour it over ice for me, and I want to do a shot to commemorate
Well,
George's
this is,
birthday.
you know what?
I'm
this
so
is-
old.
Mix
this is-
something else in there.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
this is not to me a shot tequila. This is something that needs to be mixed in order to get all the
All right,
flavor.
so let's mix something up.
We'll make
We're gonna
it
do it. This will do a congratulatory birthday for George
Exactly.
shot.
Well, it's a mini
We'll make it out.
margarita.
What do you think?
Sounds great to me.
Jalapeno,
What do we call it?
jalapeno.
If you do
We'll
a
call
shot,
it-
if
I
you
like
do a shot of
jalapenos.
it, it's not gonna.
Well, we already got a malted Jorge. Let's call
That's
this one a
right.
green Jorge.
All right.
A green
there you
more.
go. There you go.
Hey,
Hey. That's
what's
awesome.
that with the cool lid?
I can smell it all the way over here.
Agave nectar.
That's amazing. Okay, so
Well,
talk to me a little bit about. Do you
Was-
guys produce the agave nectar as well?
We don't. We have a company that we get our mixes from, Agave Nectar.
Okay, you can plug
The
them. This is La Sierra.
we do sell agave nectars.
Folks
The
at
one that
home, you would
she's-
not believe the waft of jalapeno that's in the room right now. Jason?
Oh yeah. And this is actually whichever one they made it a little bit hotter.
Right.
There's a gentleman that goes down and actually tests the jalapenos every time, and we'll test the heat that comes off of them and the quality of it.
Scoville units, huh? I'm sure that's a
Oh,
big
it is.
thing.
It is.
Yeah.
It is
Exactly
amazing.
right.
But while she's making it, I'll tell you. I mean, we do jalapeno, tequila, a little bit of agave nectar. I also mix in a little bit of Salerno blood orange liqueur into there, a little bit of fresh squeezed lime juice, and you're good to go. I mean,
So-
this
and-
is something that like you said, the bartenders make it easy. Boom, boom, boom. 3 ingredients, and you're good to go.
I love these little canteens too that you're using. These are very cool. Now, are
Yep.
these something that are industry standard, or is this something that's very specific to Tanteo? You guys at home, show it to the people at home. She's got this really cool little canteen. It's kind of like your bottle that you take to the gym.
Yep.
This is what George takes to the gym, filled with
That's
tequila.
right. Jim, what's that?
Gin, he knows. Jim, he doesn't.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank
Oh
you
my
so much.
God! Just the smell of this.
Oh, this is.
It really,
This is
it
really unique.
spices up
It
the
is.
room.
This is
Not-
amazingly unique.
There is
Once
nothing
you
like
pop
this.
the cork, there's a definite aroma
Wow.
that you've never smelled something like this
It's-
before.
you guys
Really
are-
haven't.
It just
Oh, I need
fills
one
the
more,
room.
so I give
Yeah,
mine to Jason.
absolutely.
Of
I
course,
can't leave
Dio.
out
Oh, that's
Jason.
complex.
Yeah, there is nothing like this in the United States. There's nobody else doing
We're going to do a shot.
infused tequilas.
We'll do a toast.
Really? All right.
Toast to George.
This is George's birthday, and for Dina and Doug stopping by to buy the
Thank you,
glass.
guys.
Welcome to
Happy
Buy the
birthday.
Glass.
Happy
This is a show
birthday.
about beverage
Cheers.
culture. Happy birthday.
Boom.
Salud. Here we go.
spicy
1, 2,
birthday,
3.
George.
Salud.
Oh, that hit the spot.
Oh my goodness.
My stomach.
And then
That was exquisite.
and the
That was
if you
good.
notice, the jalapeno
Wow, what a zing to
is
it.
on the back.
Oh yeah.
I noticed
on
that you took the words right
Yeah,
out of my
exactly.
mouth. The jalapeno comes on the back as a spice.
Sure does.
Yep.
It almost acts as a hop.
Yeah.
As something to balance that sweetness that comes from the really nice fruitiness of this actual tequila. Now, people at home are going, fruitiness? You're out of your mind. Well, take this to heart. It actually comes from a plant that's not a cactus, but kind of gets confused as one a lot.
Sure.
And it
Can
has
you
a
rub
little-
it on your burns?
Oh, sure you can. No, that's
That's aloe. Aloe plant. It looks like that.
But it's a
though.
really
Doesn't look
interesting
like it.
plant. It kind of grows and has spiny thorns and everything. But in the middle is this really big fruit called a piña, and they call it piña because it looks like a pineapple.
Oh, good.
Easy, George. Whoa.
Watch it there, Chupame Pina. No, I'm just kidding. But it's a it looks like a pineapple, and what you do is you cut off all the leaves, and then you cut it up and you mash it, and then you kind of make you steam it, and then once that steam is extracted, then it's collected, and it makes a very sweet, a kind of like a honey juice. How do you say that in Spanish? The
Honey is miel.
Mien, yeah, de mien,
Mien.
de mien agua.
Nice.
You make a mien agua out of it, like a honey water. That actually is the extract of this wonderful pina fruit. And then they take that and they make a very light distill. Now, if you know anything about distilling, there's your wash still and your spirit still. The wash still is generally only 6 to 8% alcohol, and that's your initial distillation of the product. And what you want to do there is set all your chemical balances and your levels, because there's a lot of fusel alcohols that are involved in this. And you want to be able to get those volatile chemicals correct, because as you well know, with a lot of spirits, there's that what they call that devil's cut. Have you seen that commercial on TV for the devil's cut?
Yep.
You know, and that's like that specific cut because you have different volatile chemicals. One tastes like moonshine, one tastes like gasoline, and the other one tastes a little bit sweeter, almost like a molasses or some syrup. So when they're distilling them in these big clay pots that they're distilling them out of, they want to make sure that they get that correct distillation. So they'll make the first one a little bit weaker, but then that second one is up to 110%. It's a very high-end distillation. Then they cut it back down
'cause they know
to
it's
an
gonna-
80 proof
Yeah.
in order to bottle it at that point.
Absolutely.
So just a quick, overview. I didn't want to steal you guys' thunder.
Oh,
I know
that's
you guys
fine.
are the
No,
masters here, but for people at home, that's the basic process. Now, I've been down to Jalisco and I've been down to Nayarit I for vacation, but it's an amazing place, and you go and tour the tequila factories, and there's just great tequilas everywhere. And what I learned today on the show is the jimador is the guy that actually cuts down the tequilas,
Yes.
the
Absolutely.
plants. So I didn't know that. But
When we sell, there's a tequila called El Jimador.
El jimador.
El Jimador.
Yeah, and it's that they say it's the #1 tequila in Mexico, but so they all say
Speaking
that.
of tequila, what else you got?
Oh, we got more.
Actually,
George.
we have
more.
the #1 tequila from Mexico.
We do have
with us,
them.
too.
Before we get, so I wanted to do the
with the
Tanteo
rankings.
right off the bat because
Absolutely.
you were so nice to come in, and it's such a pleasure to have you
Aw,
guys.
thank you.
Seriously is. I mean, you guys, everybody trucks down here through traffic and everything to be
That's
on
fine.
the show, and we love
My
it.
pleasure.
Yeah, but so I wanted to start out with the Tanteo, and it was just amazing.
Isn't
Go
that
ahead.
good?
Thank you. Like you mentioned, the jalapeno is done with the 3 ripe jalapenos
Right.
families. There's like the ripe, the baby, the more mature jalapenos. They take them, they cut them up within 24 hours of that process of them hand cutting these jalapenos. They are placed into maceration into the distillery.
And I don't think a lot of people in the States have had real jalapenos that are not like pickled, like the ones, you know what I mean, that you get in a
No,
jar.
yeah.
I mean, because if you go on, like, there's some great places that are actually open up. There's a place in Deerfield that's called Jefe Lunchador. And it's the same guy that does Charm City Burger and stuff. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and basically, he's got the Mexican street food, and it's really awesome stuff.
love
And
it.
and-
Street
Love it.
food.
But it's just the big reños and the big jalapenos that are just straight up. Jason and I in California many times, and they're just big, plump, juicy. They're sweet almost, and they're not
Yeah,
as hot. It's
amazing.
really the pit that's hot, or not the pit, the seeds.
I can imagine. If Charm City's #1 burger in South Florida won the burger battle this past year.
So what
I
does that
can imagine
jalapeno tequila taste like?
You just had it.
There's more. We
Where would-
have
where
plenty
would
Hey,
you
more.
George, is
All right.
that a hint?
Yeah.
That
George,
a hint,
are gonna be able to talk. All right, so I'll tell you what. Somebody want to make up a drink
So
while
we
we're.
have 2
let's-
more infusions, and
We
I
have
did
two-
make,
Yay!
I
I
did
didn't-
make 2 more drinks.
Okay, great.
with
We're going to
these
get
other
back to those, but
You
what I
wanna-
want
you
to
wanna
do
do
is
straight tequila
Dougie
first?
brought some other stuff,
Okay.
some non-Tanteo, but stuff that he feels is pretty good quality. Doug,
Absolutely.
why don't you talk to me about that one plata you got, which means silver? Let's
Which one you want? I have
talk to me about it. What you got?
I got Cabrito. Let's start with Cabrito.
Okay.
Cabrito is a brand that was around for a little while, about 10 years ago. It's actually been brought back. It is now the #1 selling tequila coming out of Mexico. I know everybody says that. These have the Nielsen ratings to back it up. It's 100% agave, meaning that it's 100% from the plant. It's not a mix or a blend or anything like some of your lower end tequilas.
Right.
But it's also affordable. So I mean, they make a reposado, they make a blanco, and that's it. But I wanted to just try just a little bit of margarita mix.
Absolutely.
These
Yeah.
actually we can do shots of. This we can
Well,
do.
we just did a shot, so let's
Over
make a
ice.
little drink out of this one. Now, that's the Plato or the Bianco.
Yes.
The Plata is silver. It's known as a Plata tequila. Typically, they're unaged. They display
Right.
true expressions of the actual blue agave, that actual plant. Now, in order to be a true blue agave, it should be 100%, but it has to be at least 51% in order to display it in some parts.
To say it has to be 51% in order to say
Just
from
tequila.
agave.
From
or say
agave,
tequila.
right. But then if it is 100, it has to stay at 100%.
Correct.
And then that's really that pure, really fine quality. It's almost like having, a 4 times distilled vodka as opposed to just one that's only been distilled twice.
Correct.
Just a higher quality and a much.
Or if another way to look at it, like I know because I know you're a wine guy.
Right.
Being able to put the varietal on there. Merlot has to be a certain percentage of, like Merlot, call it a cab to put that on the label.
Absolutely. At least 75% of the blend.
I mean, this
Absolutely.
is...
Because let's face it, folks. I mean, it's a blend. Now, when we make quality spirits, you make some that are neutral spirit, but then you can also take other grains and make a blend of just distilled spirit.
Yeah.
Blend it together. So some tequilas can have just distilled neutral spirit. It might even be grain or whatnot, right? I mean, it doesn't. I mean, whatever they want to distill and add that neutral spirit in there with the cactus. So always look for that 100%. I mean, that you can tell. I mean, some of these quality products. I mean, something like a Tanteo. I mean, it's going to always be 100% agave, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
Absolutely.
you're not going to have any type of any filler or
Nothing else.
And you're going to find your typical most of your tequilas now are bragging about being. Nobody knew what 100% agave meant when you go to the market. You go to the liquor store. Now they know it. They're proud to display it on the bottle. This isn't your bottom feeding tequilas where you have 51%. You can blend it with whatever you want. Just call it tequila and put it on the market. Now people are searching out 100% agave. They know what it means. They're looking to add new things to it. Agave nectar. They're looking to add not just margarita mix. They're looking to add different liqueurs like Cointreau, like you mentioned, and different things to make it to make it nice and taste good. Yeah. Typical margarita is not your typical margarita anymore.
Right, and you guys, like you said, you're mixing all in your wonderful secondary spirits too, the ones that you actually buy and make the high end stuff.
Yeah, and 40% of consumers are asking for margaritas.
Right.
And it is the top selling drink in America.
It is.
Absolutely.
It is. No, I believe that. I mean, if you go to, a lot of these big chain. I mean, look, let's say a place like we were talking about Rocco's Tacos earlier. Now you sell in there.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure. I mean, everybody's going into Rocco's and grabbing it and having a tequila. But even places like Chili's, you still go in there. It's still the #1 drink in a place like Chili's. And we're just talking everyday Americana, right?
Yes.
I mean, this is definitely.
Chili's is a good place for tequila specials.
Well, that's what
margarita specials.
They make they make special margaritas there. My wife actually is the only place she drinks margaritas.
See, there you go. That's a perfect example. Would you have a high-end product like Tanteo? Would they only in certain? I mean, do you guys pick where you want to put it, or would you be thrilled to have it in a chain?
We would actually be thrilled, and that's something that we're working on.
Oh, you are?
For 2013,
Okay.
we are expecting to be in a variety of chains, chain restaurants.
I mean, because let's face it. I mean, a lot of people drink margaritas and Chili's, and why not be their high-end stuff? Why,
Absolutely.
I know that if you go to J Marks, they have the jalapeno at J Marks.
Oh, they do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, fantastic. So this is excellent.
This is the Cabrito.
Look at look how well. I mean, tell me
beautiful.
what did you do? Just
I we put the Cabrito Blanco over ice.
Yeah.
I put less margarita mix in there.
right.
That's it. Shaked it up. Shook it up.
Seriously,
There
how
you go.
exciting is this? It's got a
Yeah.
nice head on. Look at the
Yeah.
lacing on the glass.
That's
amazing.
And again,
It's absolutely
if
wonderful.
you notice, it's very neutral spirit. It's not a lot of
It's nice
aromatics.
blue color,
Yeah.
right? It's got a nice blue
Nice
to it.
clarity, too.
All right, happy
Yeah.
birthday, George. This is
Happy
Thank
birthday,
you.
George.
I'm done with
Happy
mine
birthday
already.
to you.
Salute and thanks to
Cheers.
everybody for
Thank you.
coming down. This
Salute.
tastes fantastic. This is really easy drinking.
does.
And really nice.
Very light.
And these are obviously not. You're not going to get that jalapeno spice in there because it doesn't have jalapenos in it. But you're going to see that it's very smooth, doesn't burn.
No, it doesn't at all.
It's very. I mean, it's. This is.
You know what else I
typical
like about
drinking-
it? It's not overly sweet, which is
No.
the reason
No,
I don't
it's
drink
very-
margaritas
it's
for
crisp.
the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, tell me about that skinny margarita mix. Do you guys know anything about that? Is that something?
Skinny girl.
Well, I'm just
skinny,
saying.
Skinny, well,
look, she made billions of dollars off of it.
oh, she
right?
sold.
And
the
you can mix it with your tequila, right?
Well, Jim Beam. Skinny girl. It's funny because my wife loves it.
Okay.
So the way she set it up, the product of it, is you can actually drink it by yourself. We actually have a product that is.
Oh, so it has booze in it?
It already has tequila in it. It's got.
Oh.
It's a ready to drink. Basically,
Oh.
well, when she first
Yeah, I like
started,
it better if it was just a mix.
she made she started off with a mix. Then she made a ready to drink with tequila already in it.
Right.
She's also making other products, but she actually sold it to Beam Imports.
Oh.
So she sold it once she sold it to Beam Imports, and they took it over.
Okay,
we
so
don't- we
who's
don't know
coming
what's-
up with the next imposter? I mean, that's always the best
We
thing.
have- we have-
there you go. See, I mean, that's
we-
America for you.
we represent-
Somebody comes up with something great. Well, who's coming up with the cheap alternative? is
You know
what
what?
I-
Right. Anybody can
I will-
make
I
a
will
skinny
say-
margarita.
Yeah.
Exactly, but I will say not the cheapest.
Dina, do you have your own recipe for a skinny
Well,
margarita?
actually, this is my skinny margarita,
Yeah.
and will always be.
That's
my
a great
skinny
concept because
margarita.
you don't really need more than just the flavor and the actual tequila, correct?
You're
just
exactly
pour it over
right.
ice,
I mean,
maybe a little extra shot of lime or something, or
Right, we were-
all the infusions from Tanteo are skinny
that's
drinks.
you know
for
what.
me.
And when he came in and did the vodka show as well, I noticed that a lot of people are just pouring stuff over ice these days. I saw a whipped commercial for Pinnacle. They just were pouring it over ice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
And
on
speaking
the
of which,
team,
wrong with that?
I got to get you the newest one. 3 Olives just came out with the whipped
yeah.
that blows Pinnacle out of the water. 3 Olives, they finally did a whip.
Well, you
they,
know,
they waited a
I
while
was
to get
selling
it
3
out.
olives 10 years ago. I always loved the product. I was doing cherry bomb promotions back in the day, you know.
Well, I think one of the greatest things about tequila, versus the 3 Olives and the Pinnacle, because
I'm more of a tequila drinker.
This is not a depressant.
No.
Did you know that tequila
did
is
not.
the only
I knew
upper?
there was a reason I liked it.
Wow.
Yes, you will not feel terrible in the morning like you
and
do
you know
with
what?
all
No.
these.
I always
I have a policy about tequila, and as long tequila's very jealous to me. If I just stick to tequila, like I'm drinking beer and drink tequila shots, fine. But if I drink anything else, tequila
You're
will make me
doomed.
pay. Yeah, it doesn't.
You are doomed.
But otherwise, it's a good way to play it safe.
Yes.
I tell you
Great.
what, I always
It's
love to
great.
go out to a good Mexican restaurant and have some food and have one shot of some good stuff. If I'm feeling crazy, I'll do like a $50. I don't care sometimes. You know, they have those shots that are crazy. Like Baja, believe it or not, has a phenomenal selection of tequilas. The Baja. The Baja, they'll have like $50 shots back there, and I'll do like a $20 one or something, just I'll get something crazy. And let me tell you, the buzz that you get off that is exceptional. They give you a nice big, and you do one shot, and you're like, woo, I feel fantastic. I mean, like you're absolutely
It's a happy
right.
buzz.
It
It's a
really
happy
is.
buzz, and
Yeah.
you
Are
go home feeling great, and
Are
you
you
wake
guys
up
in the
feeling
Bajas?
great. We
If
are.
not, you should be.
Yeah, we are in the Cove or in Oceans
Okay.
Oceans 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
We just launched a great cocktail menu there. We've got.
I mean, they're not the fanciest places,
They're
but
not.
they sell a
They
lot
s-
of
they sell
tequila.
They really
and
do.
people love to go in there and have a good time. And
Yeah.
let's face it, that's what it's really all about.
Absolutely.
And I think tequila really does speak to the whole good time concept. I mean,
Yeah.
a little bit. It's not. It's let's face it. It's the Mexican culture it really
Yeah.
plays into a good time.
I feel like we're gringos selling tequila because,
We are.
like all of us
you?
in this room,
Well, maybe
all
not
of
George
us in
and
this
Dio,
room
but-
are
I'm not
basically
Mexican.
gringos. Our co-founder and owner of the company, we're all gringos, but we make an amazing tequila.
Let me ask you, what's that other tequila that's like through the roof?
Jose Cuervo?
No.
Milagro,
Milagro?
Milagro Silver.
El
Not
Jimador?
Milagro. No, the other one. Is it tequila?
Patron.
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 It's
No,
not-
we-
it's
that's
only-
bad- that's a
no,
bad-
the
that's a bad
context.
word.
But hold on
No,
a second,
oh.
though. It's only 25 years old, right?
Bad word.
And are they Spanish? I don't even think they're Spanish.
No, they're not.
That's what my point was.
It's a
You know,
great- Right.
If they can do
It's a
it,
name.
why can't you?
It's just a name.
But seriously, I mean,
It is.
think about it. We did a show here, and we had some facts, and somebody's like, "Yeah, Patron, they started in 1986." And I'm like, 1986?
Right? Where was I?
I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah.
Where
I mean,
were
it's
we?
like
Exactly.
I
Noble
had no
tradition.
idea, and it's not like this tradition that you thought. I mean, because Patron, that's all you hear.
But there's no story behind
you know what?
it. There's
If it
no
wasn't-
legend.
but you
there's
gotta
no
remember, if it
history.
And
wasn't
it's
for
really all
Patron-
Jason's right. It's all just marketing.
But if it
I
was,
know.
and if it wasn't for Patron, the rest it would. There's always one product that whether you like them or not, sets it up for everybody else.
Yeah.
Patron, whether you like them or don't,
paved the
paved
way.
the way for the rest of everybody else to get into tequila business. Same way that certain wines,
Of course.
nobody Santa Margarita Pinot Grigio may not be the best Pinot Grigio, and people are going to scream and yell about me saying that.
It
But guess
opened up
what?
the segment.
It opened up an entire portfolio of Pinot
Yeah.
Grigios. For people that
Absolutely.
just to taste
Right.
Pinot Grigios that are like, oh wow, this is really good.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
Kim,
so-
Kim
Love 'em or
Crawford,
hate 'em.
Kim Crawford, New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, man. Boom, opened up that whole Sauvignon
So,
Blanc.
So
I mean,
we should
and Kim
thank
Crawford and we-
Patron for opening the doors for us.
It's true. I mean, they're the
No,
trailblazers.
they really
did.
They're the trailblazers, and it is all marketing, but they really do. And, I'm trying to be complimentary because they do remind me of your brand and the fact that, like and it sparked in my head when you're like, look, we're gringos selling tequila. It's kind of like, they did it, and so can you. And
Absolutely.
I see Tanteo being there in a few years because the quality's there.
quality.
And then you guys got something they don't have, and that's this whole infused concept.
There is
Which is
nothing, like I
exceptional.
said, there is nothing like this in the country. They are the only brand that is doing this. And nobody else is doing infused tequila. There are flavored tequilas. Margaritaville has a flavored tequila. 1800 has flavored tequilas. The key word there is flavored, not infused.
And you know what? We know what it's like to have nobody else doing it because nobody else does it like By the Glass. This is a
No,
show
they
about
don't.
beverage culture. We don't just do beer. We don't just do wine. We don't just do spirits. We do it and all and everything in between. And we do it for you every Thursday at 6. When we come back, we're going to have some more great Tanteo and we're going to have some more great mixes. And we're going to do more of a party. George, birthday
Thank you.
show.
Thank
on
you so
SoFlo
much.
on BuyTheGlassShow.com.
Cheers.
SoFloRadio.com. Radio's dirty little secret.
When you're ready to actually lose weight safely and steadily while being monitored by a physician, the Weight Loss Clinic of Dr. Kim Jacobson is there for you. The family medicine practice was established by her father in 1956 and continues as a medical practice that now specializes in weight reduction. Dr. Kim Jacobson joined the practice 20 years ago as both a family medicine practitioner and weight loss specialist. The Weight Loss Clinic utilizes a combination of appetite suppression medication and vitamins to produce great results, usually 3 to 4 pounds per week for most patients. Now you can change your lifestyle while still enjoying your own food, just less of it. They offer a choice of 2, 3, or 4-week plans. So whether you just need to lose a few pounds or a lot, the Weight Loss Clinic of Dr. Kim Jacobson can help you. They're located at 5454 Northeast 4th Avenue in Miami, just 2 blocks west of 54th Street and Biscayne Boulevard. Call them at 305-751-0091. They'll be happy to answer any and all of your questions. That's 305-751-0091. Get started on a beautiful new body today with Dr. Kim Jacobson and the Weight Loss Clinic.
Put a team of professional consultants behind your home or business computer with Key Information Solutions, providing solutions to your internet and computing needs while keeping you on the cutting edge of technology. Preventative maintenance and networking support, hardware and custom-built computers. Let Key Information Solutions be your personal tech staff for your home or office with affordable hourly, monthly, or annual rates to fit anyone's budget. Call Key Information Solutions now. 954-973-3374. That's 954-973-3374. Or visit keyinformation.com.
Broadcast radio production, sound design, audio, talk shows, commercials, trailers, voiceovers, webcasting, engineering, music. Learn how for a lot less than $10,000. Send a text to 954-803-9717. That's 954-803-9717.
You want to hear the best sports talk in South Florida? Log on to SoFloRadio.com every Sunday from 8 to 10 and every Tuesday from 7 to 9. And hear us, John Etch and the Sports Heads. We cover the Dolphins, the Heat, and the Marlins. We cover it all here at SoFloRadio.com.
And now we return you to By the Glass.
Hey everybody, welcome back to By the Glass Show. We're having a fantastic time. It's George's birthday show, but it's also a tequila show, and we said, let's have some really awesome products, and we brought Dougie Fresh in, and then we got Dina Carrillo, and she's just, she's a great rep for Tenteo, and an amazing product that I'm really enjoying, and it's the next big thing on the scene as far as I'm concerned, and it's really what it's all about tonight is tequila. I got Dio back here getting sloshed, and that's really what it's all about. Tequila!
Tequila! All right, there we go. Now we can rest easy.
Could you get
jump
up
on the table? Yeah.
We got the white shoes. Who's got them?
It's totally unsafe.
Jason's wearing the white shoes.
Jason's not wearing any shoes.
Jason, that's how he rolls, especially when he's drinking tequila. Okay, well, we get into that right now. Jason just asked, what's the difference between mezcal and tequila? Tequila is made as an appellation similar to basically like an appellation of wine, champagne or Bordeaux or cognac, to where basically they adhere to certain laws. And the funny thing is, and when you're thinking of Mexico, when I think of Mexico, I don't think of rules and regulation, but there's the official Mexican norm. That's what it's called. It's literally the official Mexican norm, and it's a tequila production regulated by the Mexican government. And it was founded in 1994. And the NOM regulations, there's 145 distilling licenses which are given out in that city of tequila. But that city of tequila also incorporates Nayarit, Guanajuato, Michoacan, man, and not the kind of Michoacan that you're thinking of, and Tamaulipas. And Tamalpayas.
Well done. Well done.
Basically, those are the areas.
I know Jalisco. That's about it.
Yeah, those are the areas that you can actually find good tequilas and where they're made. And I was in Nayarit. I stayed in La Riviera de Nayarit. and it's an interesting. It's kind of like Jalisco ends and Nayarit begins, and there's a little river that runs between them. Actually, while I was there, the bridge broke, and they had to take people over on a boat. So I had to get to the airport to pick up my wife, and I picked her up on a yacht. Like this guy had this big fishing yacht, and I like chartered it. I like, can you give me a ride? And he took me through the bay, and he took me all the way over to the airport. I caught a cab. And then I picked her up, and then the guy waited for me, and then he took me back for like
nice.
$20
Wow.
because the bridge was broken.
That's pretty cool.
And that's in Mexico. Is cool. I had a guy when I was there. He was named Cruz, man. Cruz. He was my personal taxi driver, and other than getting me other assorted favors, you know what I'm saying?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. He would like take me anywhere I wanted to go. It was like
Tijuana.
Cruz.
That's awesome.
No, but this is way down
No,
south.
I'm
This
kidding.
is- yeah.
He said favors. I was thinking Tijuana.
No, but I'm saying like you know how it is with the cab driver. It's like yeah, man, take us to a
No,
whatever.
how is it? Tell me.
Take me to the.
Never been. I don't
cantina.
know.
Anyway, but he was there and he took me everywhere. I went surfing. I went and checked out a whole bunch of different. The factories are really amazing and they're everywhere. And to Jason's point, the mezcal is the actual. It's the similar spirit that is produced outside the region, made from that same piña agave. But it's just not made in the same way. It's not regulated.
It's amazing what Wikipedia can come up with, huh?
But
I love Wikipedia.
But also the interesting thing is that when you go to Mexico, there's literally 10,000 agaves and mezcals. I mean, they're just endless. I love the crazy little ones and little handmade bottles, handmade blown bottles. I mean, there's some that are just that blow your mind. I mean,
My wife and I went on our honeymoon to Mexico. We brought back 3 bottles. We haven't even opened them.
Yeah.
In 4 years, we have no idea what's in them. We don't drink tequila, but the bottles look like a salt shaker. The bottles look nice. They were hand blown, hand painted,
and they're cheap.
We have no idea what the tequila is inside, but we have
it's got a very woody smell and taste to it.
It's a little bit more
It
because
is
they can do whatever they want. They can actually
smoky-
roast the piña
smoky,
if they
yep,
want.
definitely the
It's
smoky.
kind of like a little.
And that you're gonna find in actually the tropical too.
Okay.
It's actually our citrus tequila, 100% agave, of course, made with fresh pineapple, fresh mango, and fresh guanabana.
Ooh.
So
That sounds
that's
great.
an
Can you
interesting
say that again?
fruit. Guanabana.
Do 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 do.
just what he needs, more tequila shots.
That's amazing.
Give George more tequila.
The smoky.
You smell the smoky?
citrus.
What else do you get out of that, George? I'll be honest.
He gets bananas.
No, what do you get out of that?
Guanabana.
And what's interesting is that the citrus and the cocoa
Yeah.
both have the hint of chili and salt, the same as our
Okay,
jalapeno.
so did you mix the tropical? Did
The
you mix that?
tropical,
you make
I
a
did mix.
All right, so let's do a
I
shot
did.
of that or taste that. I want to taste what
By the way,
that
I'm
was.
just gonna take this off the table because we've already been to the high premium side. So
Yeah.
George,
Oh yeah, just throw that in the
Actually,
garbage.
give me
would
that.
you?
George,
Not
happy
later.
birthday.
Thank you.
George, happy
Ooh,
birthday.
bottle.
This one's mine.
All right, here you go.
Yeah.
There you go, Brett.
I'm just throwing out.
Maybe more for George.
We've
There'll be
already
plenty.
stepped up to the
Plenty.
premium, so we're just gonna stay at that level and just
All
stay
right.
there.
I guess we're not going downhill.
No, not at all. No, we're not.
Anyway, but what she did was she made some pre-made, really cool little cantinas. She made some pre-made shots.
This is, by the way, Brett. This
Now,
is what
you-
I drink at my house.
You had mentioned that there's a smokiness to this one that comes
There
from.
is.
I would imagine they take the actual
That smells good.
plant and they roast it a little bit, kind of
Yes.
like you roast a malt in a barley.
Yeah, you know what? They have them in huge containers,
Right.
and I wish we could show pictures, but I mean they're
What did you
basically
call them? What'd you call them?
Hornitos.
Hornitos.
Ovens.
Is that why?
Little ovens.
Ovens.
little ovens.
Oh, is that, how do you
Hornitos.
say oven in Spanish?
Horno.
Horno.
Hornito would
So
be a
it's
little oven.
Hornitos is little.
Oh, and that's why there's Hornitos tequila.
Tequila.
So my name is Jorgito. That's little.
But they, I mean, they take these all these habaneros, whatever you were saying before, and they roast them, and they take the tequila, the quality tequila, and actually pour it over it. That's why you get a lot of the taste and the citrus in there. The fruits are in there. To me, again, the
is
tropical
amazing.
is
really
my
nice.
favorite.
Yeah.
What did
I
you
love-
mix this with?
I mixed this with blood orange.
Okay.
Actually, the blood orange juice.
Blood
Salerno-
orange juice. So
And
we
a
have the
little bit-
Tanteo 100% agave tropical
Salerno blood orange liqueur,
with a
which is
Salerno
you can
blood orange
purchase.
liqueur,
As well.
as well
little
as
shot of
some
that.
juice
And just the no juice.
oh,
well,
juice
actually, the blood orange juice is in here.
is in there. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So
So how's that?
fantastic. This is
Mhm.
amazing.
Cheers.
Now, salud.
And I
Very
make
nice.
this. I make this at home a
See,
different
I
way,
love
but
it.
it is.
great.
I love
it's
it.
awesome.
I love it.
There's nothing. There is. I'm telling you, when I am passionate about it as much as Dina is, there is nothing like this in the United
What
States.
does that remind me of? Does it remind you of a mixed drink or something very similar? I mean,
Fuzzy navel.
Fuzzy,
I'm gonna-
yeah,
It
right.
reminds you of a fuzzy navel, and
It
it,
does.
also
I'm good
reminds
tonight.
you of a madras,
You're on fire.
Yeah,
which
Madras.
is like a little bit of like that cranberry and pineapple kind of.
Right, it's kinda like
I'm
a
sorry,
tequila,
cranberry and
grapefruit.
orange juice together
okay,
a little
okay.
bit.
Yeah. Hey, Doug, ask me about girl drinks.
Listen, when I turned 21, I ordered a whiskey sour. That was the red flag. I said, you're not 21. Here
Fast
you go.
lane to getting sick, man. Those fuzzy navels. What a bad idea that was.
Yes.
Did you want me to go into the last infusion, or you want to?
Well, let's hold
go
off
back
a little
to-
bit.
I like your idea of taking
make
a straight
more- I'll
shot
make
of
more
that.
drinks.
I'm very curious.
We're going to
about that.
definitely do that. We want to do
Yeah,
that one.
absolutely.
But okay, so we talked about the Plata. Now let's talk a little bit of Reposado. Now, do you have a Reposado on the table?
We've already been drinking it, but yes.
We've already been drinking it. Well, let's talk a little bit about it. I mean, basically, there's differences. I mean, when you get into age, and the Cabrito Reposado is the one we used to make the last drink.
Correct. The one you
Now,
had this, and
it's-
again,
basically, they just age it. Reposado literally means to rest. It rests in a casket or wood vessel or any type of vessel for 2 months, a minimum of 2 months, so that you can really get that kind of sense of, like, remember what I was talking about before? There's those real volatile vapors, aromas that come off the product once it's distilled, because it's very high in the fusels, those alcohol fusels. Those need to kind of dissipate, almost like decant, if you will, and break down a little bit. And they do that in these vessels, and that's what the Reposado is. It's a little bit more rested. It has a little bit more stability. It's a little bit more of a firm product, a little bit less of that bite that comes from it, a little bit more of the quality.
and believe it, and one thing that you and I had talked about is, and being in this business, the color actually comes from
The
being
wood
put
aging.
with the wood in the barrels, which is
You've always
which
heard
now-
the old story about bourbon in the Tennessee River, right?
Yeah.
They always wanted to. They had their clear white dog spirit. And by the way, I was watching that Moonshiners the other night. Jason.
Oh God, that's a funny show.
That's a hilarious show. Those guys are making
Any show that
moonshine. It's
requires
ridiculous.
subtitles has got to be fun.
Yeah. They speak English, but it requires subtitles. And they're white people from Virginia, but it requires subtitles.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta dig this
I'm
hole.
fluent
Dig
Southern.
that hole.
Well, the
Anyway, but they would put the distilled neutral spirit, white spirit, into a barrel in order to contain it, to hold it, because that's all they had. And then they'd literally throw it down the river because they were trying to, hide it from people that would either want to smuggle it, people that would want to steal it from the law because they weren't allowed to make it because they didn't have a license to make it because it's a regulated product and they didn't want to pay taxes on it. So they throw it in the river, and then there'd be a guy down the river about 10, 15 miles, and he'd take it out of the river, and he'd hold it, and they'd put it over there. And when they would actually open up the barrels, they realized that it was darker. It turned color. It had taken in a lot of the characteristics, the vanilla bean, the coffee, the oak aspect that you get, those real nice caramelized notes that you get from the wood that would happen to it. So they would continue to age it a little bit longer, and lo and behold, you had American bourbon whiskey. And that's why they only use the new American oak barrels for bourbon. And when they aged, the añejo, it has to be aged in oak for a minimum of 1 year, and that's pretty much the similar concept.
And that's why it's also a little bit. If you notice, it's a little bit darker in color.
A little bit more caramel, a little bit more nutty overtones, and those types of things.
What I wanted to do, I made a drink with the Reposado with margarita, but what you have in front of you now is a straight Reposado. I wanted you, because you get this particular.
Are we
brand,
going to taste them? What?
Yes, you can actually. I want to get the flavor without it.
This is
Like
amazing.
you had said, they're sweet. Most
Yeah.
of the margaritas are sweet because of the margarita mix you put in there.
Right.
This is straight Reposado. You got the little
Probably
bit of
one of my favorite.
hints of a little bit of caramel, hints of wood.
You really do get that off the nose.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
And
amazing.
again, it's.
I don't think a lot of people realize that when too many people out there are just thinking,
That's
Jose,
nice.
Jose Cuervo when they're drinking tequila, something you need lime and salt for. But these, you sit down, you smell them, and they just have
This
so
is
many
delicious.
wonderful notes.
And again,
is very
and you
oaky.
feel zero burning in your it doesn't burn, and it's smooth. And again, that's the key to me to a very well made any liquor or spirit, whether it's tequila or vodka, is the burning. That to me indicates quality, caring on the part of the distiller, the amount of times it's distilled, and just the care of the
It
product
has enough
itself.
of a bite. It has enough of what we would call, I don't know, would it be an acidity or an acid that will give you that alcohol concept in your mouth, the mouthfeel and whatnot. But it's certainly not intense. It's nothing that's overbearing. It's
not at
just
all.
enough to be. I mean, really, you want alcohol to have a little bit of a bite to it,
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
this definitely achieves it tremendously. It's amazing.
And then if she hands me some more little cups, I will give you the little bit with basically with a margarita. And you can taste the difference. This is where Brett, you were talking about sweetness,
Yeah.
and this is where you get your sweetness from is
Right.
in the margarita mix,
So
and also change the color a little bit as well.
so you've added it with a little bit of a margarita mix. Now.
I added it with one of the best, and I would love to give a shout out to
Yeah.
Master of Mixes, which makes the best margarita mix. And it actually makes the best mixers to me in the state and also in the United States. They have everything from dirty martinis, grenadine, and I am spilling everywhere. Why am I
that's
spilling?
okay. It's pre-ruined drug.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
right,
pre-ruined
exactly.
drug. That's why we do it. It's
Okay,
perfect
good.
for
I just
that.
want to make sure.
It's been through every
Ain't the nastiest thing's been on this drug.
concoction.
It's interesting though. If you look at the colors, they're kind of similar. One's a little bluer than one's a little greener, but
The green comes from the mix, the margarita mix, most likely.
And again, Master of Mixes, if you're not familiar with them, they're sold in every store. They're sold in every grocery store.
I'm sure you can get them at Total Wine, right, Ed?
No. No, you can. Master Mix, you can't get a Total Wine, but I'd rather see you go to your. I'm always a big supporter of your
Well,
local
you know, Total
independents.
Wine's a big supporter of the show, so we.
Okay, so yes, that's right. Well, I forgot, Ed. Sorry, Ed. Didn't mean to. Yes, you can get these at your
You say
local
it sells a lot
Total
of your
Wine.
booze too.
Yeah.
You can get Master of Mixes at your local Total.
Do you do
Total Wine.
tastings in the store and stuff?
We do.
You know,
Actually,
I want to talk to you about
Okay.
Tanteo.
Go ahead.
Talk about
Go ahead.
Tanteo for a
All right, so tell me a little bit.
I'm
do you
gonna
get-
drink. Go ahead.
Now, do you get? Not that I appreciate Dougie. Do you get out into the market much? Do you go to
I do.
clubs and stuff?
I do.
Tell me about your.
I
club
market
experience. I
everywhere
like to
I
ask
go.
people
Everywhere
that
I
actually
go.
bring these products to the people. What do the people think? How do the people feel about it? What are some of your experiences? What kind of people are drinking it? Give me some lowdown. Give me the rundown.
I'll give you the lowdown.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, yes, I market anywhere I can. If I'm at the gym, I'm marketing. If I'm at the salon, I'm marketing.
Got guys like George that'll drink at the gym.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
If
I went to the
I'm
gym, I'd
passing
drink there.
along samples. You know, our little
Heavier the bottles, the better.
Our little sample bottles actually look
Okay.
like this.
Oh, look, earrings.
Those are cute.
Here we are. I don't-
George uses them as earrings.
That's
yeah.
right.
Or his other
Oh,
rings.
you gotta take these later.
He dangles them from body orifices.
Absolutely. So I take these everywhere with me, and I leave samples for people, and I get the feedback, and they're like, "Wow, Dina, this
Are you
is
Dina Claus around
awesome."
Christmas time?
Yeah.
Leaving samples
Give
for
me
Christmas
more.
house?
Where can I get more? Let's, and just recently I've been to a couple of the arena games, and I'm sticking them in my bra, and I'm putting them in my purse, and I'm like, I
Sticking
got to
them
get
in?
this in there because
You
it's
got-
really the only thing I
So
want to
how
drink.
is that warm tequila?
It's so good.
Awesome. I bet it was.
So good.
You know what the scary part is? I mean, with this particular tequila, I do the same thing.
I do, and I'm embarrassed sometimes, but you know what? I don't care. I love it. It's the only thing
No,
I want to really
there's-
drink. I've got everybody on board. Everybody in my family, they're like, send me a case. All my California
We're
family.
in. We're in the club.
No, exactly. And the biggest mistake that I think was made, that I've made, the only mistake I've made with this brand is you don't do this. This is not a shot tequila.
Well, it's not a shooter.
It's not a shooter. You need to mix this. My wife brought it out to a party, and she knows how much I love this tequila. Right. I drink it at home. I'm making margaritas. She actually she brought out a bottle, and she had people tasting it. Well, they were doing it. She goes, "Oh, everybody said it tasted terrible, and they didn't like it." I said, "Well, what'd you mix it with?" She goes, "Nothing. We did shots." I go, "Well, this is not a shot
mixology.
tequila.
Yeah, it's a mixology.
It's a
line.
exactly.
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
is a mixing tequila.
Yeah.
You need to make sure that. I go, let me make it for them, and they came over 2 weeks later, and I made them margaritas, not telling them what I was making it with. They thought it was regular tequila. Gave it to them, and they were like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the stuff you had shots 2 weeks ago that you didn't like.
it's
It takes a
very-
little bit of a culinary expertise and a little bit of know-how and background.
No,
like
exactly.
I think that I just think that what anything you'd use fresh jalapeno in would be exquisite. Like you make salsa. Well, mix it with a little bit of tomato juice, kind of like you would a Bloody Mary. I mean, could you imagine the jalapeno tequila with the Bloody Mary? I mean,
It's so versatile too because I've even had chefs and catering companies ask me for this for their food, like
Yeah.
the jalapeno and the tropical in a mango chutney salsa.
Oh, it's perfect.
I mean, that's perfect.
That sounds really
you
yummy.
just light it on
and-
fire, burn off the out, and then
There
you
you
get
go.
a nice.
And the cocoa has done well with the dessert menu. I mean, anything like a baked Alaska or a Bananas Foster's,
it's
pouring the
perfect.
cocoa over the top is just exquisite.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is going to go a long way. This is just the beginning for us. Like we have such a future ahead of us with Tanteo.
Absolutely. Yeah. Has he thought? I mean, is there a little peek under the tent? Has he thought of anything else that he's going to infuse?
This is it.
Okay,
This
right.
is it. And we
'Cause,
don't
I
really.
mean, you got to be. I mean, obviously he went through the gamut. I'm sure of things that worked best to infuse.
Oh,
it.
Yeah.
John. I've had the pleasure of meeting him. He's a perfectionist. He wants to make sure that he's put together a very good team throughout the entire United States. But his team in New York, I mean, the guys go down to Mexico. They taste it. If it's not right, they're not going to sell it.
Right.
They'd rather see them take a batch of jalapenos or mash that's not good and toss
That's
it?
a good question. Now, when he gets down there, how did he pick who's making his base product? I mean, Tanteo is a product that's created from somebody who actually has to harvest it and create it.
The jimadores
and everything. Does he
yep.
did he go and hand pick those guys? Look for the certain people to work with. How does that all work? Do you know?
Yeah, absolutely. He had the the funds to do that, and that's what he wanted. He had the idea, and he put it to use, and he got the right people on board, and everybody.
I went around and tasted a lot of people's base product and said, "Look, I want you to make my brand, my line."
Yeah, it took, like you said, it took time. It took. We need the consistency to be there every single time. We need the right consistency. So that's a master.
No,
someone to do that. That's a master, and that's why I'm so in love with this, because I feel like it's my passion now.
Now you talked about we talked about the different levels, the plata, reposado, añejo. We're talking about all those now. There's blended tequilas as well, right? The tequilas that blend certain things together. Did you talk
mean
about
by blending different?
Blending different like maybe plata, añejo. Do they do that at all? Do they blend tequilas?
No.
What are these classified as?
These are classified as infused. They're 100% agave.
So they're not
infused.
rested at all, and they're not aged.
No.
So technically, if they weren't infused, they'd be plata. Am I stumping?
Technically, yeah, you're not stumping us, but
just kidding with you.
No, but they're
in its own category.
There's like I said, there's
yeah.
So there's no age on them.
Actually, we have a lot numbers on every bottle.
Right.
As you can see, everything's done by hand.
Right.
The labelings are done. The wax seals are done by hand. Even as far as our little lot numbers and.
No, there's no question that it's the highest quality. I'm just wondering, like, do they
age
when they
them,
create it, do they immediately bottle it after? I mean, the infusion time. How long does that take while it's infusing? Is that a minimum of 2 months while it's resting? Is it reposado because of that classification?
Well, he has a gentleman that goes down. Normally,
it's anywhere from when I say blend, I think like cognac and whiskey and all that. Where there's different vats, even champagne, where you have still cuvées that you blend together, then you make your secondary fermentation. I mean, are there master batches that he tastes,
yes, there are.
and then he blends those together to make his signature batch, which he then infuses? So obviously, there's some time on these.
You're talking about well, as far as the tequila itself, you're talking about the master. You're talking about the jalapeno as far as the heat.
Longest master.
Well, the product is distilled.
The tequila is distilled.
Then it comes out pure. It
comes out blanco tequila.
But then
the key to this is the jalapenos, the roasting time on the jalapenos, the roasting time on the tropical fruits,
while they're roasting,
and the cocoa beans.
While they're roasting, the tequila setting.
The tequila is settling, and then they mix them, and then there's a gentleman that goes down, and we'll taste.
I'm not going to make any assumptions, but I would safe to say it's at least 2 months, maybe.
Yes.
So maybe at least a reposado.
It's actually I want to say the jalapeno was 60 days. I think everything is 60 days.
Okay, so that's
as far as
2 months.
Correct, 2 months on the tequilas. The maceration process it's about flavor. It's not about
how long it sits.
But
Yeah,
it does cure the product.
More like once we get to that consistency, we're going to bottle it.
Okay, consistency. Now that's a good word.
Yeah.
Yes.
Once we get to that consistency
comes from blending and aging.
And the 2 years I've been with this brand, being able to sell it and been introduced to it, actually a year and a half, the heat. And I asked him about that because the heat when we first tasted this tequila was pretty hot.
Yeah, it was strong.
And then it got even hot. I thought the next bottling of this particular the jalapeno was a little bit hotter. I said, "How do you determine that?" He goes, "We just it depends. We go down.
Master blender.
It's up to the master blender who goes down and he tastes the the roasting of the jalapenos. And it's amazing to me that you can go down there and be able to take it out of a this huge tank. And if you go to Tanteo.com, you can see the video that's on there, and there's also a whole bunch of pictures, and you can actually see the vats with all the fruits and see all the vats with the jalapenos.
It's quite
go visit the website, Tanteo.com, Teo.com. You'd be amazed at the pictures you'd see. And it
explains the story, because there is a story behind this tequila.
Well, I'm here to bring out the hard-hitting questions.
Like I said,
folks.
Thanks. I know you are. I can tell. But like I said, you know what?
That's what people want to know. They want to know. I mean,
this started
stuff.
in his apartment in New York with him playing around and being a master, trying to be not a master.
Well, you know what, though? I mean,
but that's how we all start. That's
exactly.
How
I mean, you can walk
started.
into some really great bars and you'll see vodkas that are infusion pots. Remember those infusion
Exactly.
pots?
Oh, yeah.
And they got the pineapple.
Exactly.
I've seen them.
People told him, "Listen, you have a product on here that you could sell," and he said, "You know what?" And it's amazing when you spawn from an idea. But he was making this for probably 2 years before he decided I could actually do this as a business. You know, and he's great about it. He's not. He's a really good guy. We had
That's
the chance
awesome.
to meet him. He's a really good guy.
Well, we're excited. We love Tanteo and all this wonderful tequila that you're bringing us. You can tell how excited I am.
I'm thrilled.
I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled out of my seat.
We haven't even gotten to dessert yet.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten dessert. Well, you know what we're going to do?
We're
going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have some dessert. We're going to enjoy ourselves. We're going to really embellish this wonderful tequila that you brought to us. We're going to do all that and really have a wonderful birthday party for you.
Woo! It's wonderful already.
Radio.com.
Why bother listening to those other douchebags while we've got everything you need right here? SoFloRadio.com. Radio you've missed.
Listens to the radio. A great time is a sure thing at Gulfstream Park.
Live racing returns to Gulfstream Park with the $850,000 Claiming Crown opening day. Saturday, December 1st, the horses are back. The excitement is back. The winning is back. So welcome back. There's more to do at Gulfstream. Live racing returns to Gulfstream Park. The $850,000 Claiming Crown opening day.
A great time is a sure thing at Gulfstream Park.
Strawberry patch and smoothie. Come
Get your hands off me.
Huh?
I said don't touch me.
I shouldn't have went to that party last night. Now I'm seeing talking fruit.
You're not dreaming, Bubba, and you're not putting me in that blender.
But you're just a fruit.
Who you calling a fruit?
You are. You're a delicious passion fruit.
Why, sure, I'm passionate. How would you like to be blended, huh? I got right, you know.
Customers waiting. You gotta go.
Yeah, but wait, you can...
At Power Smoothie in Aventura, we show fruit no mercy. Always fresh, always delicious. To make the best smoothies and wraps on earth, try our new cilantro lime-alicious wrap or our hot chipotle chicken. Power Smoothie in Aventura, located just north of the Aventura Mall in the Promenade Shops. Or call 305-792-5338. Open 7 days a week.
CBC5 is the executive liaison for all your building compliance needs. Serving South Florida from the Palm Beaches to Key West, CBC5 delivers 5-star service that brings...
what's this ABC, BDQ, whatever?
CBC5. It stands for Complete Building Compliance.
Oh, I ain't building nothing, so what can they do for me?
Well, they do more than plan review and permitting. They help the little guy cut through red tape.
I got duct tape holding together my carport.
Well, CBC5 can help. Let them deal with bureaucrats. They helped George Rodriguez solve a sewer lateral problem, and they saved him a ton of money and hassles.
By City Hall, who can do that?
CBC5 can do that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a commercial to finish. Contact Shoddy the Hottie at CBC5, 786-255-3851, or log on to cbc5.net. That's cbc5.net.
Attention SoFloRadio.com listeners. Was that serious and broadcasty enough for you? Well, here's the skinny on our new show schedule. Wednesday nights, 7 to 9, it's me, the Eggman, with Captain Hook. We talk about everything. Then on Saturday nights, 7 to 9, H-Love joins me for a little show we love to do called Reggae Recipe. So you got it? Wednesday nights, 7 to 9, it's the Eggman and Captain Hook. And Saturday night, 7 to 9, it's me, the Eggman, and H-Love for Reggae Recipe on SoFloRadio.com.
That's funny. Don't say that. Yeah, do that.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do that. I was just in Mexico, man. I just love the whole Mexican culture. We go down there. I go to the East Coast, West Coast. I was just in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, man. And that was one of my second trips down there that I just had an absolute wonderful time. And I drink a ton of tequila whenever I'm down there. I say, bartender, give me the best stuff you got. And, you know, they've never given me anything like a Tanteo, unfortunately. But when I'm down there, I do drink a lot of Jimador and a lot of different other stuff, too. But I'm so thrilled to be doing this wonderful tequila show. And, of course, Dougie coming through.
It's a very fun show.
Dina Corbello. And, of course, Ed Roberts, you know. Always
Thank you, Ed.
I didn't know.
And a big Georgia big George birthday show when
Thank
we're
you
doing
so
tons
much.
of shots, and it's a party. But whenever I'm at a party, I tend to pontificate about spirits and wine and beer. Anyway, people are usually like, "Shut up, Brett," or get a radio show.
No.
So I got a radio show, and now I can actually talk as much as I want, and there's actual purpose for
Tap
it.
that
So
talent.
I'm having the time of my life.
And I have, by the way, my wife is watching, and and by the way is correcting me on the as I'm texting. So, honey, I am listening to you.
Honey, it's okay.
I got your text, and we'll have margaritas when I get home.
Right, fantastic. So, and thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And by the way, congratulations.
Yes.
Basically,
very proud of you.
So basically, moving right ahead here. Now, what do we trace? This is the chocolate
this
cocoa.
is the cocoa.
I've been waiting to try this one
Yeah,
because
this one is awesome and also very unique.
Yeah.
This one happens to be probably one of the most versatile. That if you made a chocolate martini with this one, you wouldn't even think it's
I
tequila.
get spice.
Yeah, you definitely have the spice
You
and
get
the
spice?
chili. Now, when you smell this
From the Fireball.
remember that's from
Oh,
the
that's the
Fireball.
fire.
We
Okay, I'm
mixed
sorry.
it with the Fireball.
We
with
mixed it with
chili.
Fireball.
With
Now
cinnamon,
we're molding shows here. We did Fireball last week.
Wow, that was
Wow.
quick.
And we did
that
the
was
cocoa.
quick.
I had a
So-
small shot.
I like that
Sure
girl.
it was.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
I broke my
Cheers.
glass.
Exactly. Mine's empty.
Okay, so
That's
that's with
That's
the cinnamon Fireball. Now
I
I'm
gotta
gonna let
say,
you taste it.
That's fun.
that
straight.
is amazing.
Please do.
Really good.
That's really
Is that
good.
really good?
And that's
Here, you
like
can recycle mine.
I don't usually do that
for
kind of
mugs.
Listen,
For mugs, we had I had a
New
golf tournament that we did
New
with
Right.
York
mugs.
just hinted us on this Fireball whiskey with the
I wish I'd known
Tanteo,
that.
and it is just amazing.
Do you know Allie, the girl that does Fireball?
We do. I do.
You know her?
I've
hooked you up
seen
with
her.
because you guys got to do some
Yeah, we
cross
should do some
promotion.
definite
She was
promotions
just
with it.
Well, they were both in the same bar. Just
Right.
didn't know they were. Didn't know to put them together.
well. Allie's a big fan because she was on the show last week,
Yeah.
and now hopefully she'll be a big fan of yours. And you guys,
yeah,
basically,
we need to get together.
you guys definitely should get together.
Well, I want to just say one more thing about the cocoa. Not only is it amazing and from 3 different cocoa beans, light, medium, and dark.
Yoink.
And obviously, Jonathan does an amazing job of doing the roasting of these cocoa beans.
They roast their own cocoa beans.
They do.
Yep.
So everything right down to, like you showed me the maceration of the jalapeno. They buy their own cocoa and roast it and everything.
No,
everything.
they-
These are all hand. That's what makes these unique. They're handcrafted. All the fruits, which makes it a little bit more of a premium tequila. There are definitely some places.
All right, so get down to the nitty
We're
gritty.
gonna do that right
All right,
now.
the nitty gritty. How much
So-
does it cost a bottle retail?
Retail.
$33.99.
That's not bad. $33.99 for
No, not at all.
handcrafted, and you can buy it at all Total Wines, ABCs.
No,
No.
Gulf
No.
Liquors, Gulf Liquors, South Beach, Lincoln Road area.
Okay.
Just took on 15 cases.
All right, so it's limited.
So go to Gulf Liquors, and you know what? If you want to see
anything
me,
in Broward?
Yes, I'll give you a shout out to Broward.
All right, we want to sell your
wait,
product.
You got no. You go ahead. Go
South
ahead.
Beach, South
No,
Beach.
go ahead. South Beach first. Go
Oh.
ahead.
December 15th.
Okay.
I will be there personally.
Okay, at Gulf.
nice.
Where's it located?
It is on South Beach, Lincoln Road,
Lincoln
on
Road.
16th.
Lincoln and 16th. Okay,
Yes.
Gulf.
Big liquor store.
At Alton and 16th, actually,
Alton,
at Gulf
okay.
Liquors, and I'll be sampling all 3 infusions.
Guys, got to get down there.
Yes,
to
please.
see
Come
Dina
on, guys.
Carvello.
December
Go
15th
check it
is on
out.
a Saturday
Fantastic.
from 6 to 9.
Broward County, real
Broward
quick.
County, where can we
you got
find it?
You got Premium Liquors in Palmetto Park Road, west
Okay.
of 441.
Okay.
King's Beverage on
Okay.
441, just north of Hillsboro.
Okay.
And then you also have it at Palm Lakes Liquors has Tanteo, and I'm missing one, and they're gonna kill. Oh, Ocean Liquors.
Ocean. Okay,
My
great.
favorite liquor store.
Guys, let me just say, let's do a shot real quick, and then
Okay,
I'm gonna.
this is dessert, guys.
Cheers.
So-
Salute.
Cheers.
Here's
Salute.
here's to
George,
George.
happy birthday
Happy
again.
birthday. Here's to
George.
Dina.
Happy
Here's to
birthday.
Dougie. Everybody
Thank
come
you,
in and
Dina.
salute.
Thank you.
Here's to
Exactly.
Tanteo.
Best for last.
All right.
More shots for George.
Wow, that's amazing.
Tequila shots,
That's
baby.
exceptional. As you drink all these wonderful products, I like to say,
Oh my God.
please do so responsibly.
Yeah.
Never drink and drive.
Yeah.
Do not overconsume. On Buy the Glass Show, we drink to taste. And go to buytheglassshow.com where you can find out
That's
all
what
the
we're doing.
wonderful beverages
George
that you
is
can
drinking to get
find.
drunk.
Join along with us. Check out my show page. You can go check it out. I got about 150 shows on there. Everything wine, whiskey, beer, spirits, everything you could ever think of. We've done a show on it, and we
That's
continue
right.
to do more. We are the cutting-edge premier beverage show in America and in the world, folks. And I want you to go to buytheglassshow.com and check it out. But I also want you to drive safe. Do not drink under 21. Do not overconsume. Please do everything with class. Have some class. Drink to
That's
taste.
right.
Look, we're having a wonderful sit down here. We're discussing wonderful products with our friends. This is what it's all about. And I'm not kidding. This is where the nature of the business is going.
Exactly.
This is where the business is going. People are drinking good stuff. They're sitting down. They're trying. They're actually tasting the flavor of the products that they're putting in their mouth. What a concept!
And Brett,
it's-
it
yeah.
shows like yours
Yeah.
that are introducing these type of products to the world. Nobody's gonna know about Tanteo tequila. Nobody. I mean.
Well, they're going to know about it because we're on iTunes.
Exactly. If you know
Buy
this-
the Glass Show with Brett Hubbard, and
if-
she's going to promote it. Dina,
Exactly.
because
If
it's
you
her
didn't know
show.
about it before,
Absolutely.
if you didn't know
YouTube.
about it before, you know about it now.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna go out and buy it. So
Absolutely,
I appreciate the opportunity.
We appreciate you guys coming in. I mean, we all got to work together to really make it happen. And what a wonderful business to be in.
It is.
And we couldn't be luckier. Especially the rest of the world is going through tough times, but they have a drink if you're going through tough times. And
That's right.
Support me.
It'll make it easier.
Exactly.
But that's what
go to your local retail. Go to your retail store.
Yeah. But thank you so much. Thank you so much to Ed Roberts. I mean, he's the man. He definitely puts together the shows. Next week, guys, tune in because we're gonna have Beth back. Beth's coming in. She's got her olive oil show. You remember her free leg shaves? She's
going to shave her legs with olive oil right here on the air.
She's going to shave George's for a week.
I'll totally let her.
Yeah. She,
how do you prepare for that show?
I don't know, but she's going to come in. We're going to do some crazy mixes. We're going to pour some oil and vinegar shots.
We're going to put a shower curtain down.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it's going to be
olive oil twister. I invented it.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Thank you so much. We love you guys. Have a good night. Drive safe.
Thank you,
and thanks so much.
Thank you, George.
Dougie
Happy
and
birthday.
Dina.
Thank you,
Dina.
Thank you, George. Happy birthday.
All right, guys. And happy birthday, George. And
SoFloRadio.com.
And bye.
And SoFloTelevision.com.